Bruce Willis
years ago.
next.
He did make an album.
He did.
Who
Bruce
didn't make
Willis.
an album?
Oh, yeah.
The best. Oh, come on. Honestly, what was it? What do we do, Tony? We were playing the Terry. What was the thing with the Terry Bradshaw thing? Terry Bradshaw did an album back in the day, right? Like probably country hits or whatever it was, right?
It wasn't rap. You sure?
No, it was like he did yes, it wasn't rap. I'm pretty positive it wasn't, but it was around the time a certain local media member had a Christmas album out.
Yes.
We were talking about this, and so we were playing the music. Or like, guess who the
That
artist
was
is?
so good.
And like the first guy goes Frank Sinatra. Like, wow, that's a compliment.
It is.
That is a compliment. You know, what can I say?
We have jumped the shark.
Sinatra.
We really haven't jumped the shark. All right, let's get back on topic then. Make
Here we
Mike
go.
DeRocco happy because he's a
Focus,
very
focus.
serious journalist, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. Let's take the offensive side
Okay.
of the Jacksonville Jaguars, right, and look at core building blocks. Some obvious ones, right? So let's see how deep we can go with guys that you absolutely want to have be a part of it. First guy you're keeping. This is an intelligence test here.
Trevor.
Yeah.
Of course.
What are we
I
doing?
just want to make for the record.
What are we doing?
We're all keeping Trevor Lawrence, right? For the record. Brian Thomas Jr., number 2 with a bullet.
Yes.
D-Rock, agree or disagree?
Yeah. That's
Ahead of anybody else on offense.
correct.
Okay. Anton Harrison.
Third. Yep.
Got to be third, right?
Yes.
That's the easy. That's the low-hanging fruit
Yeah.
section.
Then it becomes, we got to keep 5.
Right. Do we
Okay.
have to keep 5? Can we? But all right. For me, there's
For
a
the
pretty
sake of the 5.
clear number 4 who I would personally keep. Who is your number 4, Tone? Would you say?
Tank.
D-Rock?
Ingram.
Me too. I keep Evan.
I'm not keeping Tank.
I'm not like
had
if
Ingram
it's
at
only
5.
5.
Yeah, I had Ingram at 5.
You did, I just feel like
Running backs.
running back. Right. We'll get one. We'll find another one.
So who's y'all's 5th?
Probably Walker Little.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
That's kind of why I was on the Tank path of it. There were none of the other offensive linemen that I were like, yeah.
well, at least if I keep Walker Little, I feel like I've got 2 tackles who I can
I get it.
play with, right? And it doesn't become this glaring hole. If I don't have a running back, I'll find a running
You'll find
back,
one.
right? I'll
Yeah.
find a vet off the scrap heap. I just think it's easier to go that route. I'd consider Ezra Cleveland as well. I'd keep him over either of the running backs.
No Kirk, huh? I'd keep Kirk.
Okay, and I can understand that. He's got season-ending injuries 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
He's not that old. What is he, only like 28
28
maybe?
or 29.
Is he at? I think he's 28.
28.
Yeah, I think he is too. What do you think his future holds here in Jacksonville? Do you think it is in Jacksonville?
Oh yeah,
D-Rock?
I mean, I don't know if you've looked at the money. I would be stunned if you cut him. I think it's like $24 million in dead next year. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, so we're all racing to see
Scrambling.
who gets
Well,
there
Christian Kirk.
first.
I didn't know we were going to talk.
He just turned
contract.
28 3 days ago.
All right.
Yeah, the dead money, it's restructured. That's blah, blah, blah. Why is it squeezing me off the page here? I don't like
Okay.
this.
So his dead money in 2025 is, I'm sorry, it's 21.5 this year. It's 13.6 next year.
What's the cost if you have him on, like, what's the cap hit if he's on the roster?
The cap hit on the roster is 24.
So you're saving 11.
Yeah, roughly 11.
So I see. That's why I don't think it is out of the realm of
but
possibility.
here's the problem. I think he's going to be on the roster next year because Parker Washington has not done anything, and they're like, if Parker Washington ended up, finishing this season hot and ended up with like 40 catches or what have you, then maybe. But he's shown nothing under. Now I get it. He's played 2 games with,
and that's what the point was going to be.
with Mac Jones, so that's an issue. But he also played a couple of games with Trevor, right? So I would keep Kirk partly because it's an experienced receiver and I know what I've got in him. So now I have 2 receivers that I know what I have in. But I don't think anyone really knows what they have in Parker Washington at this point.
Man, I really, he was a guy who was talked about in the offseason, which just goes to show. I feel like going to turn my brain off next offseason. I don't care what I see. Doesn't matter what I see. None of it matters. It really doesn't. Parker Washington in training camp, I think, would have gotten a lot of votes for most improved player on the entire roster. Right? And again, I do think that the Mac Jones factor is a factor in this whole scenario here. In the 2 games prior to that, playing with Trevor Lawrence, he had 3 catches for 46, 3 for 41. Not world-beating numbers, but somewhat involved.
Yeah, so if he averages 3 catches, and for how many games was he going to miss? Was Kirk going to miss? How many games did he play in? 8, 9?
Well, let's see. Those 2 plus another 8. So close to 10 games.
Okay, so he was going to play 7 more games.
It's a pace for a full season. It's a pace for about 50 catches, and I mean, it's not.
And if he had gotten to that number and looked like he was getting to that number, then you could say, I would say, okay, that makes me rethink whether I would keep Christian Kirk.
The last 2 games, Mac Jones has only thrown the ball 3 times. Didn't throw the ball at all against Minnesota. Not a single target.
Well, it took till the end of the 3rd quarter before Brian Thomas Jr. got a target.
Understand, right?
Minnesota.
So I'm not really holding these last couple of games against
and that's
him.
what I said. Like,
yeah,
granted,
I know.
It was 2 games with Mac. You know what? We don't know that it's not going to be 2 more games with Mac Jones.
We don't. What's your gut tell you?
I don't think he plays when they come back the first game.
The first game?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I don't. I saw the knot on his shoulder. Yeah, it's pretty significant. And this is a much more severe AC joint issue than the one that he had last year to the throwing shoulder. Now you can pad it up, you can put a harness on him and all that other stuff, but this is a lost season. And I'm not saying, look, he wants to play. Please don't misunderstand that. I know people asking me that question. And people, I did a Reddit AMA the other day, and they're like, oh, yeah, Trevor's just wanting to shut it down so he can get rid of Doug and all those guys. I'm like, Trevor Lawrence wants to play. There's no question about
that. There's been
a
lot of projecting of ulterior motives.
Correct. I mean,
on everyone with this team. Oh, what does this mean? This means, Trevor's trying to get Doug out. Trevor's trying to get, if he doesn't get fired at the bye, there's no way he's coming back.
Everybody reads into everything the way they want to read into everything.
Did you guys know that Joshua Dobbs and Parker Washington are cousins?
No.
I just, on Parker Washington's Pro Football Reference page, relatives, cousin Joshua Dobbs.
Huh.
There you go. He's got a little bit of that rocket scientist in him. So.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs, one of, by the way, the nicest dudes that have ever been in that locker room. A fantastic kid. Just a fantastic kid.
And everywhere, we gave up a draft pick to Pittsburgh for him.
5th round pick, right?
Right. And then as soon as the season ended, he signed right back with Pittsburgh.
Right.
Thanks for the rental for 5th round.
And Kevin O'Connell did a masterful job with Josh Dobbs for 5 weeks last year.
Arizona used him a little bit too, right? He bounced to some different places, and he was okay. He was not a travesty. He gave you a chance.
They would be worlds better off with him starting games right now than with Mac Jones, probably.
He would add that running element. If nothing else, he'd at least be a threat in that regard.
Sure. No, I'm just thinking, I feel like there's so many examples of guys that, and maybe this is the case around the league. Right? Sam Darnold is maybe the best free agent quarterback available next year. Well, who needs a quarterback potentially? The Jets. He's already gone down that road, right? Some guys.
He can't re-sign there. He can't.
But my point being, why do. And with Sam Darnold, it may have just been he needed to get some competent coaching around him. Kevin O'Connell's doing a really good job, whatever the case. But it just seems like there are guys that he's here and that guy's nothing. It's like Flacco, right? He bounced around, and then he fell into it last year and was really good. This year, not so much, right? No. But it does seem like the Jags have had their share or more of players that they got nothing out of, let go, understandably let go because there was nothing in return, and then they went somewhere else, and you're like, well, who's that guy? Because that was not who we saw here in Jacksonville.
And then there are guys that were let go for reasons because they might be too small and then become all pros.
What's the Jags' biggest offensive need heading? Is it obviously? No. I mean, like the big picture moving forward. Left tackle is a big question mark, or one of the tackle spots. Whether you flip Anton over there,
right?
How interested do you think they would be? And it's tough to know because we don't even know who's making these decisions next year.
Right.
But do you think Walker Little has appeal to them to bring in, maybe not on like a blockbuster deal, but maybe like a shorter deal where you feel like, all right, we've got it locked down for a year and he's under contract for a couple more beyond that, but we can get out of it? And
no, because he'll be able to get much more money somewhere else.
Do you think?
Yes. Even average NFL tackles are 10 plus.
What do you think the Jags will be a player in the Walker Little market, whatever that happens to be?
I think they'll see where the market is on that. And again, it depends on who's around, obviously making the decision. But yeah, you kind of take a sniff and see what's going on. And it also, does Walker Little want to be here?
That's what I say. I was going to ask, what's your sense of Walker wanting to be back?
Money talks.
There is that. I think it probably would be better for both sides to have the separation there. I think that's probably the best way to go. And honestly, here's the thing. If you keep Walker Little, then he's your left tackle. Because he's not very good at right. And he doesn't like to play right either. I don't think.
In a scenario, like, I can understand he may feel like this coaching staff hasn't used him properly or didn't.
Right.
But I feel like it was always there for him to take if he clearly outshone Cam Robinson somewhere along the way. I mean, he was a second-round pick. I think he was expected to be the heir apparent.
Yes.
And I don't – is that just on the coaching staff?
I didn't expect Cam Robinson to be back this year.
Right.
I thought they were going to cut Cam, save some money, and you got Walker Little, and he steps in, and he's your left tackle.
And, whether they're right or wrong, that has to be a reflection of how they felt about Walker Little.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, look, it's also a reflection of how they felt or their lack of confidence in Cooper Hodges because they brought Brandon Sheriff back.
Right. Well,
they shouldn't have done either.
Yeah, but that was understandable. And we see, I mean, like, the guy didn't play at all last year, so you don't know what you have in him.
You took him. You loved him in camp. At some point, like, you got to play your guys.
Can you trust him now?
I don't trust him now, no.
Okay.
But would he have gotten hurt if he was playing from the beginning? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
But the fact is he's had 2 season-ending injuries
Correct.
fairly quickly.
Right. So now, going forward, I have no trust that he'll be available all year. Not at all. And depending on how severe this knee injury is, when he's even going to be available.
Right. I look at guard, if they move on from Brandon Sheriff.
The entire offensive line is the number one need. The entire offensive
Ezra
line.
Cleveland's not going anywhere.
No.
He's been pretty good.
No, but you have to find you need another guard. You need a tackle. And you better start looking for a replacement for
down the
Mitch
line.
Right. Mitch Morse.
He's got one more year.
Correct. And then
that was ugly on Sunday when Fortner played just a little bit. He did.
Yeah. And then you better bring in another guard somewhere because you're not going to keep Ezra Cleveland forever either. I mean, you probably want to move on from him after 25.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
I think you can be better there and get better there and save money there.
I don't know. Can you save money there? Like, I mean, you can if you go the rookie route or something like that. I just feel like you look at what the market was for guards last year, like competent guards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think you have
crazy
it's
high.
Got to be top. So
sunk cost at this point.
26. Yeah, it's like $7 million in debt. I mean, maybe he stays through 26. I don't know. But
he only signed a 3-year deal.
He gets hurt too. He's
played well.
He's been solid.
Yeah, I think he's been okay. In fact, I think the offensive line overall hasn't been this tragic liability, right? This is the biggest concern. Well, I mean,
it hasn't been a tragic liability, but it's. And I said it before. I said they only need to be an average offensive line, okay? And you can have success.
I think they are an average offensive line,
but they can't get short yardage.
I'll give you that.
Short yardage is a massive problem. Unless it's a quarterback sneak, they're not picking up 3rd and 1. They just cannot get that done. So I think, look, if you bring Kirk back, you've at least got 3 pass catchers that you feel really, really good about in Ingram, Kirk, and BTJ. So I don't necessarily. I mean, now they have to find another receiver. They need to find another outside receiver, even though Gabe Davis is going to be on the roster next year.
Well, that's what Travis Hunter will do half the time.
Yeah, well. So wide receiver's a major need for them as well. But, I mean, I rank tackle and then the rest of the offense. Got to fix the offensive. Look at what the Lions did. The Lions built line out. Penei Sewell, Ragnar. I mean, that's all you had to do to understand how badly behind the Jaguars are in being an elite team is watch the offensive line and defensive line play in that game against the Lions.
Understood, but it's more than the philosophy. You got to pick the right guy.
Correct.
Right? You can't pick Luke Jokel ahead of Lane Johnson.
Correct.
Right? I mean,
but you
at times the Jags have had the thought, hey, we got to get that anchor tackle, and they picked the wrong one.
Right. Well, you also have to stop relying on free agency to fill those needs. Start drafting guys.
But they have drafted a lot of tackles that have not panned out.
Yeah, I
over
guess.
The years.
Yeah, I mean, but
and I'm not just saying this regime. I'm talking about the organization historically.
But here's the thing, though: you gotta trust what you select in the draft.
Okay, well, you drafted Juwan Taylor. Should they have given him $20 million a year at that point?
Oh no! I'm not saying. But they
did draft that guy.
They got 4 good years out of Juwan.
Okay.
Well, let me rephrase that. They got 2 good years out of Juwan Taylor. So trust your draft.
Now he starts for the best
evaluation.
team in the league.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
I'm just saying,
you're
you know
not
what I mean?
paying
Like,
Juwan Taylor $20 million.
I understand that, but
chance
that
in
was
hell.
an example. They drafted a guy who was a pretty good guy. He came along. His market value was, they felt priced out of what they were going to get out of him.
But you got to draft him. I mean, with whatever you do, it's draft and replace. You're always looking to replace guys.
Right, but you only have so many premium picks, too.
Correct. But you can find offensive tackles in the second round.
Like Walker Little.
Like Juwan Taylor.
For instance.
Absolutely.
Right.
Cam Robinson was the second round pick.
Right, I'm just saying, some hit, some don't.
Some
like
don't,
Cam's
but
an average player.
But you need to
They
start.
paid him like an above average
you need
player.
to start. I mean, Shad Khan said it in the middle of the summer. He's like, we're done spending a ton of money. So it's got to be draft and develop.
We'll see. $58 million in cap space. Let's go. All right, I'll take a time out here. We'll do the other side. Today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Which 5 defensive players would you build around from the Jacksonville Jaguars for the future if you could only start with 5, if you can even get to 5 for that matter? Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and Dylan Denmark. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Pick the winners and be a winner.
Who's a winner?
Make the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park.
I said, who's the winner?
Pick the worst. You'll still win some pizza. It's called the Weekly Pick'em at 1010XL.com.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick, a candle bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Hey, everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I just cannot say enough good things about my friends at Pella Windows and Doors. They have the highest quality products, the strongest limited warranties in the industry, and they just flat out look amazing. But don't just take my word for it. Consumer Reports still has Pella rated #1 in all 3 major window categories, so why not go with the best? Call them today or visit the Pella showroom, and be sure to ask about the latest hurricane and impact-resistant windows. That's Pella Windows and Doors on Phillips Highway, and tell them Mike sent you.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Rage. With a huge selection of guns, ammo, and accessories, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got everything you need to hit your target. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, their friendly experts will guide you every step of the way at 4630 Blanding Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Gun and Range. Gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field?
Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Chris Doring is chomping at the bit to tell you about today's Gators.
Chomp, chomp, chomp!
With Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Tuesday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Farrah & Farrah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. On 1010XL.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics. 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Our first contestant, a stay-at-home gymnast from Jacksonville, Florida. It's Gwendolyn Pierce.
Thank you, Monty. I don't know who installed my air conditioner, but it hasn't had a tune-up in over 3 years. Am I cool?
Let's ask our expert judging panel. Judges? I'm sorry, Gwendolyn. You're not cool. Johnny, tell her why.
That's right. To keep your air conditioner performing at its best, you need a skilled technician to check your pressures, voltages, and air filters in the fall and the spring. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, our club members get 2 free visits a year to make sure that you are cool.
Can you tell me if my haircut is sexy?
You're better off not asking.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Googa Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
What city has hosted the most Super Bowls? The answer coming up.
Southern Oak Insurance knows that you want to save money on your homeowner's insurance. So why not try some old-fashioned common sense? Ask your Southern Oak agent about our roof replacement schedule. It will save you money.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Miami has hosted the Super Bowl 11 times. New Orleans has had 10.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Southern Oak Insurance. Florida football is getting major contributions from the running backs. Head coach Billy Napier is looking for it to continue over the next 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2 young ones continue to get better with confidence.
Back in the college football playoff after beating Tennessee, Georgia head coach Kirby Smart says he doesn't see any Big Ten bias.
I don't think they value the Big Ten over the SEC. I think they value wins and losses.
Offensive lineman Danielle Pierre Luis has flipped his commitment from Florida State to Florida. This is now the second prospect in the past 2 days that the Gators have converted from the Noles. Tramel Jones Jr. committed to the Gators following the win over LSU, which he says helped his decision, he told 1010XL.
It wasn't the selling point, but it was just a plus.
At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
At 11:02, it's 59 degrees. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mike DeRocco is powered by Lickety Split AC, Plumbing and Electric on 1010XL.
So Dylan has found the
We sent him down a rabbit hole.
Who did a bad album or single in the 80s rabbit hole. Yeah,
I'm trying to get this YouTube algorithm so it's just nothing but this all week.
Nothing but Bruce Willis, Don Johnson coming up next.
Don Johnson's next, yes.
With Heartbeat.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, well, we had a little Eddie already, so.
There's got to be another act.
Play this like this was like regular rotation on.
Oh, yeah. Without
Regular
question,
rotation.
Yeah. Because he did this while he was on Moonlighting, right?
Right. Very popular. He was. The show was.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
So, anywho, let's find out what's happening to make other teams miserable around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Tampa Bay wide receiver Mike Evans is trending towards being able to return this week, according to head coach Todd Bowles. Chicago running back DeAndre Swift did not practice on Wednesday due to her groin injury, but the Bears remain hopeful that he will be able to play on Sunday. Detroit tight end Sam Laporta trending towards being able to play this week, according to head coach Dan Campbell. Arizona has activated offensive tackle Jonah Williams from their IR. The New York Giants have opened up the 21-day practice window for defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau, and Dallas has opened the 21-day practice windows for wide receivers Brandon Cooks and defensive end Marshawn Nealand.
All right. Thank you very much, Tony Smith. And, earlier today, Pumpkin Escobar, who's a very active social media presence among Jaguar people, gave me a list of 6. He said, I can't, I said, I'm going to have to leave somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes, well, it'd be one of these 2. Again, you have to leave one of them out. But then Baxter Hill, who's another of the many Splendor Jaguar social media presence types, said Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon, Tyson Campbell, Ventrell, and then he goes 5A, Monteric, 5B, Mason, but he said extra players the Mike Dempsey way. I can't argue with that.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it, you're right. I mean, many a time we've done the top 5 and included 8 people. So who am I to hold Pumpkin Escobar
It's
to a different
happened,
standard?
yeah.
D-Rock, what do you make of we're tired. This team's tired. We need a rest. What do you make of that?
I think there is something to it with the team. Yes. Does it piss Jaguar fans off? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is every team not tired? I get it. Not every team.
Well, here's the thing.
Some teams have had a bye.
Look, I'm not, again, it's 11 weeks of games, including 2 weeks in London, including training, 2 months of training camp. Look, I don't know that I would have said it that way. I probably would have been like, these guys need a break.
How much more difficult is it to be in London for 2 weeks?
You're away from your familiar surroundings. The one thing we know about players,
you're pampered. You're given everything you want.
But here's the thing: the players, they all love routine. They all love how the week goes. They know what to expect every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They crave that routine. So all teams do. All professional athletes, all NFL players, they love that routine. And you take them out of there for 2 weeks.